Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see I am working on a 4x8 insert, and it's just this side, but for the bottom pocket, or you know what, actually it could be the top. Basically I have 3 photos. They all have to go in the same pocket, whichever one that is, because I do want to have space for journaling, because I have some things to say about arriving at our hostel. But here are the 3 photos I have. It's kind of an interesting mix of colors. I've got mostly black and white here with some green foliage here in the background. And then I've got bright red and then this blue. So it's an interesting color mix, but I have these stickers and they would match. Here's the blue, I've got red, I've got black, all of those work. And I love that they are doors, and they kind of look like the doors in this neighborhood. Let me just show you. This was a picture I thought I might use and chose not to. Look how similar that is to these doors that are on here. So that shows you. This was the Lincoln Park neighborhood, by the way. So I have those. And then I've already picked out 2 cards that are of interest here. I'm not sure which one I want to use. If I use this one, I have to cut it down and I'll lose some of the design there with the lines. It won't harm anything, but it might look a little strange to have it down to a 4x4. I'm not sure. This one would be easier because it's just, you know, this generic phrase up here that's repeated. Cutting that to a 4x4, very simple. I don't have to try to center it or anything. It'll work just fine. They're both black and white, and I want it that way so that I can embellish with some of this, hopefully. Now, the other thing is, if I decide these don't work, my next layouts coming up are all photos from the neighborhood. At least one layout will be. I could save these and potentially use them for that if it doesn't work out here. But I'm really hoping I can figure out a way to work in all this color because I really like the idea of it. So I was just looking in my album at the couple of layouts that have come before this, and I realized that on one of them I have a flip that's up top. So for here, I think I'm going to put these in the bottom pocket just to even that out a little bit so that when the album is done, hopefully it's not really bulky on top and not as much on the bottom. That's kind of weird when that happens, so I'm trying to avoid that. And the flips that I will use here is just an adhesive, because it's a side one, so I don't need to worry about it being over the top or whatever. It's going to go sideways, so I can put it here without a problem. So I will do that in the bottom pocket, and then I just have to figure out which of these am I using up top. So the more I look at these, the more I want to cut down this one, I think. So I have my trimmer out here. I'm going to cut it down, and then because if I cut it on this side, the lines will go to the edge. I want it to match here, so I'm going to try to cut it as close to where those lines start as possible. So I'm just going to line it up here. Get it right to the edge. Hopefully it won't look weird when I do it. I do have extras of these. These came in a pack of 10 or 12. So if I screw it up, I do have more. All right, so I went as close as I could get. It's not bad. I mean, it's really up there, but whatever. I can live with it, I think. And I want to go to 4 inches. And let's take a look. That's not bad, actually. And I just realized, I don't know that I need it to say today we and favorite part. If I want to use, probably not the black door because I already have black in there, but maybe the red to bring in the bright red that's in these photos, maybe I can use this door and cover that up. It looks like it would probably be wide enough. You know what? I'm going to hold it up there and try it and see. I have added this sticker, and I had to do a little maneuvering. If you look very closely, you can see some of that wording shows through. I thought this was thick enough that that wouldn't happen. And I originally had it placed a little further down, so I quickly took it off and placed it higher up so that it runs right over the door knocker here. Hopefully that's not as noticeable. Here you can still see it, but these little flower box type things, I'm wondering if I can overlap it on the bottom somehow and make it look like it's part of that, and then maybe that will hide that a little bit. So I decided to get creative and do some layering. So I used one of the little flower box things and I put it over that word, and then I used one of the other stickers that said welcome. You can see here, here's the other one. That was a little too much of the light pink, I thought, but this was a little bit closer. And so I put that over it just to make it look like a more welcoming, like a front stoop kind of thing. Now, would you put flowers in front of the door? No, but I got to work with what I've got here. So I think I'm going to do that and leave it alone. But I do feel like everything is heavy to the left here. So I'm going to have to do something on the right side. I do have these little potted plants here. I could put one over here, but then I feel like all the stickers will be up top. So I'm undecided about that. And there's no rule that says I have to use more of these. And if I want to, I can use them in here maybe instead. So I think I'm going to leave those alone for now. And I'm going to see what else I can find to go on here. And because there is a lot of red already happening, a lot of black, I'm wondering what other color I can use. There is green here, but it's kind of doing its own thing already. So I'm a little stumped, but I'll figure it out. I'll find something. So I did notice that down here, there's this light right there. I'm wondering if I should hang something over the bottom or find an element that will fit over that will bring in more color. It will be diagonal to the stickers I have up top, and it'll fix this problem. So I have grabbed out my labels, both the blank ones and the titles. And then I have this, my little pouch of ephemera as well. I didn't find anything in there that I liked, that I thought would be appropriate or that was the right color or whatever. It just wasn't going to work. But then I forgot, over on the side of my desk, I had printed out some digital files. Actually, here's another piece where I printed them and I just haven't gotten around to cutting them. But on here, at first I thought this, but that would look weird. I think having it floating because of that solid flat edge on top. But this one, it definitely was a memorable experience. When I journal, that'll make sense. But it's also red. And I think it's just wide enough that it might cover this. So I'm going to cut that out and see if I can use it. So when I cut that out, I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. These are not the same, and this feels very sort of drab compared to this shiny bright red. So I'm keeping it in reserve, but I don't know that I'm going to use it. I do have this one, which is a little bit of a brighter red, the heart. It would cover that up. But I also decided to pull out this ink that I have. It looks darker than this, but I can't remember how it actually stamps. I haven't used it in a while. So I'm going to do a test with it. And I have this set of stamps, which I've had for a while. And as you can see, haven't used them. So I'm going to stamp out a couple of tags in different varieties and just see if I can make my own that I like better. Okay, I did the stamping. I just used that scrap piece that I cut off. I used it for that just to give it a whirl. And this one caught a little bit of something there. This one was pretty perfect. So I do like the color. I think I'm going to cut that out. I don't know what's up with the ink, but look how it discolored this stamp. Now, I cleaned it all off and I restamped. This is the image it gave me. So the inside is completely fine, but man, did it stain it. I've never really had that happen, where it's the like entire thing that gets discolored. So kind of weird, but it still stamps just fine. All right, now I have that stamped and cut out. I don't need to worry about this end because they're not going to see it. It's going to overlap just like that. But now I have to figure out what to stamp or add on the tag. So there is red there, but it's not a lot. So I could still do a red heart, but like smaller, that would fit in there. I can do something black and white if I want. I have options. So I'm just going to go through my stuff quickly and see what I can come up with here. I decided to go back to these stickers and see what I could do. I think I'm actually going to use this planter here with flowers in it. It's more of the pink shades, but since they do appear in here as well, I think it's okay. I think it's safe enough that I can get away with it. So I'm going to take that one off and see how it would fit here. It does have the black pot on there, but I think that's okay. So if I layer that about there, and then do maybe a little more because I might want to staple in there. So if I do like that little guy about there, and then cut it off. Let's see how that would actually look with this top part here. So it would look like that. I think I like it. I like that these match and clearly they're from the same set, but it's subtle. It's not crazy big like this. I like it as a nice offset. So I think I'm gonna go with that. So I figured out that on the inside, when I open the flip, I want this over here. So these are across or diagonal from each other. And then I want this one here so the blue offsets the red. So I've got that figured out. And then I thought, you know what? I can use the rest of this. I can hang it over the top here to bring in some of that red over the blue. And then thinking about using this little sticker here that says Mi Casa. There's also one that says home. So I could do both, but it was our home away from home while we were on vacation. So I'm going to use one of those in there. All right, so I added that on, and I actually decided to go with the one that just says home because I will actually be somewhere in the coming months where using something in Spanish might be applicable. So I'm going to hang on to the one that says Mi Casa. So I use this one instead, but I've attached everything. And looking at this, I think it's fine. I don't think I need anything over here because I already have both of these. So really all I have left to do is just put them in the flip and attach it. So I do have my photo flips here. So I need one that's 4x4, which I have plenty of those. I don't use these as often as a 3x4 or a 4x6. So I have lots, and I will put everything together and then attach it. Okay, I've got my photos in the flip here. So all I have to do is take off the adhesive and then line this up as best I can. And this will cover the holes that are there, but I just make new ones on my own with my Crop-A-Dile. It's very simple. So that is never a concern for me when I do photo flips. These are slightly different sized than this page protector, which makes it a little weird to get it lined up because you can see like the bottom actually overlaps a little bit. Once it's in the album, you won't really notice it, so it's fine. But there we go. I have that. The flip is all attached and ready to go. And here's another one finished for Chicago. Thanks for watching.